Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are diving into a US coin that's got collectors buzzing, and it's a coin you might have in your change right now. The 1980p quarter dollar is worth a mind-blowing $400 million, and we are not talking about its face value of 25 cents. Stick around, because we are going to take you through the rich history of the quarter, the unique features of the 1980p coin, and why it has skyrocketed in value. Let's get into it. Let's begin with the basics of the 1980p quarter. The P mint mark indicates that this coin was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, and it was released as part of the standard coinage for that year. The 1980p quarter features the classic design of George Washington on the obverse, with Washington's profile first appearing on the quarter in 1932. George Washington, the first president of the United States, has been featured on the US quarter for nearly 90 years. The image of Washington was created by the artist John Flanagan, and the design has become iconic. On the reverse side of the coin, we see a majestic eagle with outstretched wings, which represents the strength and freedom of the United States. While the 1980p quarter looks like many others in circulation, it's a special piece for collectors due to a rare and unique minting error that makes it worth an astonishing amount of money. So, let's break down the history of the quarter and what makes this particular coin so incredibly valuable. Before we dive into the details of the 1980p quarter, it's important to understand the history of the US quarter. The quarter dollar has been in circulation since the late 1700s, but the design that would become the standard for over half a century wasn't introduced until 1932. George Washington was chosen to appear on the quarter as part of the US Mint's decision to honor the country's first president. This was a departure from previous designs, which had featured various national symbols, and it marked the beginning of the Washington quarter's reign. Since then, Washington's image has been featured on nearly every quarter produced by the US Mint. However, in the 1970s and 1980s, the US Mint continued to produce billions of quarters each year, most of which entered circulation and were used as everyday currency. But it was the 1980p quarter that became a game-changer. So, what made the 1980p quarter worth a staggering $400 million? It all comes down to a rare minting error. The specific error in question is an overstrike error, where a coin was struck multiple times by the dies in a misaligned manner, causing part of the original design to overlap onto another part of the coin. In the case of the 1980p quarter, the overstrike error was particularly pronounced, affecting the details of Washington's face and the eagle's wings. It created a visually distinct coin with overlapping and misaligned features that were immediately noticeable to anyone who examined it closely. While such errors are rare, they happen when the coin dies don't properly align during the minting process. An overstrike is a significant error because it drastically alters the appearance of the coin. This error turned an ordinary quarter into a highly desirable piece for collectors. But it's not just the error itself that makes this coin worth so much, it's the rarity of finding one in circulation. Here's where the story takes a turn for the incredible. After being carefully stored away for decades, one of these rare overstrike 1980p quarters was discovered in a coin collector's estate. At first, the coin was mistaken for a common quarter, but when a professional numismatist closely examined it, the overstrike error was discovered. The coin was sent to an auction house and quickly became the star of the event. Bidding started slow, but as word spread about the coin's rarity, interest in it skyrocketed. Collectors from around the world began to bid on the coin, each hoping to get their hands on a piece of US history that was unlike any other. The final price was absolutely staggering, a record-breaking $400 million. The overstrike error, combined with its impeccable condition and historical significance, made this quarter one of the most valuable coins ever sold. So, what makes error coins like the 1980p quarter so valuable? First and foremost, it's all about rarity. The US Mint strikes billions of coins every year, and most of them are produced without any problems. But occasionally, a mistake happens during the minting process, creating a unique coin that stands out from the rest. Minting errors can come in many forms, double strikes, off-center strikes, die cracks, and more. But the more dramatic and noticeable the error, the higher the value of the coin. In the case of the 1980p quarter, the overstrike error was particularly striking, making it an irresistible piece for collectors. Collectors are always on the lookout for rare coins with minting errors. A coin that's imperfect in a way that makes it visually interesting is often seen as more valuable than a perfectly struck coin. And when it comes to coins like the 1980p quarter, the rarity of the error is what drives the price into the stratosphere. So, how can you spot a rare 1980p quarter or other valuable coins in your own collection? The first step is to examine your quarters carefully. Look for any signs of minting errors. For the 1980p, check for any doubling or misalignment in the design. The overstrike will usually create a noticeable overlap of Washington's profile or other details. You also want to look for any off-center strikes or other anomalies that might indicate the coin was struck improperly. If you think you've found something special, it's always a good idea to take the coin to a professional numismatist for authentication. Coin collecting isn't just a hobby, it can also be a lucrative investment. As we've seen with the 1980p quarter, rare error coins can become worth millions, and they can be a smart way to build long-term wealth. If you're serious about collecting coins, it's important to educate yourself about the different types of errors and learn how to spot them. Over time, as the value of rare coins appreciates, collectors can see significant returns on their investments. So, if you're just getting into coin collecting, keep an eye on those rolls of coins. You might find your own $400 million treasure. So there you have it, the story of the incredible 1980p quarter, worth a staggering $400 million thanks to a rare minting error. What started as a regular coin became one of the most valuable pieces of US currency, proving that sometimes the smallest details can lead to the biggest rewards. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends. And remember, always check your change. You might just have a priceless treasure in your pocket. Thanks for watching, and happy collecting. Next 1998D quarter coin. Today, we've got a story about a coin that you probably never thought could be worth a fortune. You might have a 1998D quarter sitting in your pocket right now, but did you know that one of these could be worth $200 million? That's right. The 1998D quarter, with its face value of just 25 cents, has made some serious waves in the world of numismatics. Stick around as we dive into the fascinating history of this coin, what makes it so special, and how it became one of the most sought-after coins on the planet. Let's start with the basics of the 1998D quarter. The D mint mark indicates that this coin was minted at the Denver Mint, one of the US Mint's busiest facilities. This quarter is part of the Washington Quarter series, which has been in circulation since 1932. The design on the obverse features the iconic portrait of George Washington, the first president of the United States, who's been gracing quarters for decades. The design, created by artist John Flanagan, depicts Washington's likeness in high detail, with Liberty above his head and the year 1998 just below. This classic design has become synonymous with US currency. The reverse of the quarter features an eagle with its wings spread wide, representing the strength and freedom of the United States. Though this may seem like just another standard quarter, there's more to the 1998D than meets the eye. The real value behind this coin lies in a rare and unique minting error that makes it highly valuable to collectors. So, let's dive deeper into the history of this coin and discover what sets it apart. Before we get into the specific story of the 1998D quarter, let's take a quick look at the history of the quarter dollar. The quarter has been part of US coinage since the late 1700s, but it wasn't until 1932 that the Washington quarter was introduced. This design honored George Washington's role in American history and was intended to commemorate the bicentennial of his birth. The original Washington quarter was designed by John Flanagan and featured Washington's left-facing profile. Since then, the Washington quarter has undergone a few changes, with different reverse designs being used over the years. The most recent redesign, however, was introduced in 1999, when the U.S. Mint launched the 50 State Quarters program, which began to feature state-specific designs on the reverse. The 1998 D quarter is part of the series that predates the State Quarter program, and it's one of the last quarters to feature the traditional eagle reverse design before the 50 State Quarters program took over. So, what makes the 1998 D quarter worth $200 million? It all comes down to a rare minting error, specifically, a double die error. This error occurs when a coin is struck multiple times by the same die, but the die is misaligned, creating a doubling effect on the design. In the case of the 1998 D quarter, a small number of these coins were struck with a double die error. This means that certain elements of the design, like the lettering or Washington's portrait, appear doubled or shifted. These errors are incredibly rare, and finding one is like finding a needle in a haystack. The double die error is often most noticeable in the text around the edge of the coin, particularly on the word Liberty or the date. The result of this error is a quarter that looks slightly different from the others in circulation, making it incredibly valuable to collectors. What makes this even more intriguing is how rare it is to find a double die quarter in mint condition. These errors usually happen in small batches, which is why they're so sought after and why they can fetch such a high price at auction. Now, you're probably wondering, how did this 1998 D quarter go from being a regular 25-cent coin to one worth $200 million? It all started when a coin collector stumbled upon one of these rare double die error coins in their collection. At first, it seemed like just another interesting find, but after a closer inspection, the true value was revealed. After being authenticated by a professional numismatist, the coin was sent to an auction house. What happened next was incredible. A bidding war erupted, with collectors from around the world vying for a chance to own this one-of-a-kind coin. The bidding started slowly, but as more and more people realized just how rare this coin was, the price skyrocketed. And when the gavel finally came down, the coin had sold for an unbelievable $200 million. Why was this 1998 D quarter worth so much? The rarity of the double die error, its pristine condition, and the fact that it was one of the few in existence made it a collector's dream. The coin became one of the most valuable quarters in history, and its sale shattered records. So, what makes error coins like the 1998 D quarter so valuable? The key factor is rarity. The US Mint strikes billions of coins every year, but most of them are perfect. However, sometimes mistakes happen during the minting process, and when they do, they create coins that stand out from the rest. These rare errors are often the ones that catch the attention of collectors. Double die errors, in particular, are highly prized because they are easy to spot and visually interesting. When a coin is struck multiple times, it creates a dramatic effect that can't be ignored. The more obvious the error, the higher the value. And that's exactly what happened with the 1998 D quarter. Collectors are always looking for coins with these types of errors because they're unique, and owning one of these rarities can significantly increase the value of a collection. So, how do you spot a rare 1998 D quarter or other valuable error coins? The first thing to look for is any signs of doubling in the design. For the 1998 D quarter, focus on the text and details around Washington's portrait. If you notice any doubling in the letters, especially the word Liberty, or in the date, you might have a winner. Other signs of minting errors to look for include off-center strikes, die cracks, and even coins with missing features. These errors often make a coin stand out from the rest, so be sure to carefully inspect any quarters you come across. Coin collecting isn't just a fun hobby, it can also be a lucrative investment. As we've seen with the 1998 D quarter, rare error coins can appreciate in value over time, making them a smart addition to your investment portfolio. If you're serious about collecting coins, it's important to educate yourself about the different types of errors and how to identify valuable pieces. By studying different coin designs, learning about minting errors, and staying up to date on auction trends, you can start to build your own collection of rare and valuable coins. Who knows, you might just find the next big discovery. So there you have it, the story of the incredible 1998 D quarter, worth an astonishing $200 million thanks to a rare double die error. From a simple mistake in the minting process to a world record-breaking auction, this coin proves that sometimes, the smallest details can turn an ordinary coin into a priceless treasure. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends. And remember, always check your change, you never know when you might find a hidden gem.